was not able to post a video, and this is a story to tell you what has been going on where we live.
So we were hit by what is termed as a derecho. So if you've never heard of a derecho, think of a hurricane, but not next to the ocean or a big body of water. So it's characterized by straight line winds at very high speeds. So the derecho that we were in was clocked at somewhere around 100 mile per hour winds.
So on Monday, today is Sunday for reference, Jay and I were going to go to a town to do a little shopping, and he had gotten an email from his boss saying that this big storm was coming. And so we decided to change our path and not go shopping where we were going to go, and we went to a different town. And while we were there, our area and a huge part of Iowa got hit by the derecho. And so luckily where we were safe, but driving back, we were definitely seeing different parts that were impacted by the derecho. And when we got home, I will insert some video clips of what our property looks like. I'm currently walking around my property. Here is behind my house. Luckily, there is no damage to our house that we know of right now. It is kind of hard to tell with the trees on top of the house, but from the inside, we have no water in the house. So we have all of these trees down, but my tennis shoes that I left outside overnight didn't even move. And then you guys are probably wondering about my garden, which I will bring you down there real quick to show you that. My garden did not get touched. The wind must have been coming at the direction that this barn either protected it enough, because there's no way these would be standing if the wind came through the way it did the rest of my property. Most of my stuff is pretty flat. All the leaves were ripped off my green beans. Over here, my green stalk did get completely knocked to the ground. Luckily, none of it cracked. Now, one thing I'm going to say about the green stalk, if a product can withstand winds of 80 to 100 miles per hour, get smacked on the ground and not crack, that says something about the company's product. This product is quality. Only one piece broke of my plant support. This is seriously the only piece that broke. And please keep in mind that we had wind from 80 to 100 miles per hour. So these things withheld a lot. But luckily for us, our house was not affected at all, except like one little part of a gutter is dented. But we just had a lot of tree damage. But that was not the case for many Iowans,
including my parents. When we got to my parents, we couldn't tell how bad their roof was. We could see what looked like a whole tree on their roof. We ended up finding out it did puncture a hole in the roof of their house, not to mention other buildings and things that they had at their house that were completely destroyed.
Right there used to be a silo, and as you can see, the top of the silo is completely gone. Right here, there used to be a grain bin, and now the grain bin sits over here. This is where the other half of the grain bin ended up, which one of them was where Jay's dad works. The roof was ripped off of that, and so there's been a crew out here trying to fix that. And then a lot of damage to cornfields, which, if you know anything about Iowa, farming is a huge part of Iowa. So that is a huge bummer for many farmers, for both of our parents actually.
There are places that got hit worse than us. There are places that got hit less severe than us. Clearly a big lasting impact of a storm like this is going without electricity. So we have been without electricity for 7 days now. So that clearly alters the way you live your life.
These are the power lines of the road that I live on. A majority of them are down. This is just one section that is close to our house, but all the way down, there are multiple power lines down. We were predicted for 10 to 14 days with no power, so we will see where that brings us. I just read today that it may be 2 to 4 more days, so hopefully on the lower end of the no electricity.
I've said to many people, taking a cold shower isn't terrible when you've been working outside in the heat all day, but if you haven't been working outside in the heat all day, a cold shower is not the most exciting thing to jump into.
Yes, and luckily for us, my mom told us right away that we needed to get a generator. So we called a town that was an hour away. They had one generator left. I got the last one. Our plan for the generator is just to run the refrigerator and our freezer. We got the biggest size possible so we could run our whole house, just to find out that we do not have the correct adapter to hook up our generator to our electric pole to run the whole house. But we ordered something that should be on its way. Unfortunately for us, everywhere, every electric store, hardware store, they are out of what we need. And a lot of people can't even get generators. So we're thankful that we can at least run our refrigerator and our deep freeze. Living with electricity hasn't been fun, but it's been doable. When you're used to sleeping in air conditioning at night, that can be rough.
Air conditioning and a ceiling fan. So it's one thing to be without air conditioning, but no air being blown on us, you know, you miss it.
Yes, and when you like go into a room and you flip on the light switch and you forget that it's not going to turn on. I run into that all the time. I always have to make sure that our cell phones are charging when the generator is plugged in. Well, we haven't had any internet, and in fact, our internet went out before the storm even came. So we have an appointment in for that to be fixed, but I have not been able to upload anything, hardly. Just getting something to upload to Instagram takes forever and a day. We could move our oven and plug it into our extension cord to run the oven, but luckily for us, Jay's parents have been, and my parents, have been gracious enough to allow us to come eat with them for supper. We are safe. Nobody, as far as I know, was hurt in the storm. We're ready for life to resume to somewhat normal. Thank you guys for being patient as I've not been able to upload, and hopefully I can get back into my normal posting routine. For the last 5 days, we have done nothing but pick up sticks and branches and leaves and twigs. We are tired of it, but we wanted to show you guys the pile that we've been adding to show you how many sticks and things we really have picked up. Here is the first pile, and then here is the second pile. I showed you guys what our lawn looked like when we first got home the day of the storm, and with a lot of help from family, we got our yard picked up. So I'm going to show you real quick what our yard looks like. The first day our family came and helped us do our yard. Second day we went to my in-laws, and then on the third day we went to my sister-in-law's. Then we were able to wrap up our yard after that. Our plan is to hire someone to completely take out all the trees in our backyard. Not because we don't like trees, we would love to have trees in our property, but these trees are completely dead and hollowed out inside. And so to take the risk of another storm coming through and ruining the roof of our house is not worth it. And so we plan to just start fresh, get these all out of here, and then we can plant some kind of a windbreak that will be a little farther away from the house. Here is the center of one of the trees in our backyard. As you can see, completely hollow.